great little book. And we said we're going to get 5,000 of them. And if nothing else, we'll have Christmas gifts for our family and friends for the rest of our lives. And the day that thing came out, we saw that. My mama cried like a baby and went straight to bed. She stayed in bed that whole day. And I got a copy. Mom got the #1 book. I got the #2 book. And Bobby got the #3 book. And we went about our business. And somebody came in from New York visiting. This is when Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil was filming in Savannah. And they published, Random House published the book, which John Barrett wrote. It was a huge book back at this time. And so they came down to, you know, they were part of the team. They probably got special access to the film. And she dug into the restaurant. We were closed. It was between lunch and dinner, and it was raining. And she picked up a menu and just looked around. And we had our books right up front with a sign that they were for sale. And she was in and out in less than a couple of minutes. And a week or so later, she called us and said, "I'm Pamela Cannon from Random House Publishing in New York." And Mama said, "Who? Random House? What?" Mama always thought she lived in the Random House. I said, Mama, this is one of the biggest publishing houses in New York City, and they're calling us, asking us to send our book up for them to see. And there's thousands of people every day that call Random House and say, "Would you please take a look at my book?" And this woman wants to see ours. So that's a victory. You know, this is as good as it's going to get for us. Random House wanted to look at it. It might take us 10 years, but we're not going to have to keep them forever. We're going to sell all these books. So we sent a couple of copies up to her, and a few weeks later she called and said, "Congratulations, this book has merit. We would like to purchase the copyright, and we're going to publish this book out of New York City." And for us, it was an incredible time. I had yet to fly on an airplane when this happened. And so they said, "You got to sell all 5,000 books in that first year," because once they published it, we couldn't sell any more of ours. So, and almost to the day, we sold the last of those 5,000 books, and in our family now we have exactly 3. And there'll never be another one, so they're spread out now all over creation. And the book has done really super well for Random House. That was the first of 3 books that Mom published at Random House. We had a friend that was in Charleston filming a television show, a friend of Carol Perkins, who owns a business in Savannah, owned at that time. And she said, "I want you to come down, Gordon, and meet this woman and have lunch with me at this restaurant. It's unbelievable. You're going to love her. Food is fantastic." Gordon Elliott walked into our restaurant one day and met Mom and said, "You would be perfect for the television show that I'm doing. It's called Door Knock Dinners," where Gordon is he used to have his own talk show. Y'all know who Gordon is? He's the Campbell Soup guy, big giant Australian guy. So he'd go up on a door with a microphone and knock and say, "Hello, I'm Gordon Elliott, and I've got..."
But in a far better Australian.
I'm from Albany. I can barely talk English, much less Australian. So every show he would have a different person following him up to the houses. And he flew us out to Las Vegas. That was the town that we got to go to. I said, "Hot dog." So first time
well, you didn't have no money, so there's nothing to be excited about.
But it was the first plane I ever got on took me to Las Vegas, which is pretty good. But I didn't have any money. I couldn't get one, but at least I was there. I got to watch people do it.
Oh my God, there's the funniest story from that trip to Vegas. Go ahead. Oh, it's hilarious. It's only me. I'm the butt of the joke. I'm sure we'll get around to it.
You want to hear it? I'll tell you. Okay, so
are you going to tell right now?
Yeah, I'm going to tell. We're right up there. So we go to the thing. And,
I'm so mad.
We go up. It's hilarious. So we go to the door and this woman opens the door and she's got 2 kids and one of them's just wearing a diaper only.
This is not the story, by the way.
No. This is the house that we got.
This is where the show was filmed at.
And so it's like, you know, 4:45. We just go into some suburb and he starts knocking on doors and like the first 5 or 6 places. Looked at him like somebody looked at me trying to sell a tuna fish sandwich wrapped in saran wrap.
Because let me say, excuse me for interrupting you, but let me say, this is before reality television. This is the most real thing I've ever seen. It was a guy with a blue blazer and a stick bike, and a man with a camera, and literally knock on the door, and whoever answers it, it's like, "Hey, we want to come in, and you can't do anything."
Yeah.
You can't fix your hair. You can't wipe that stuff off your kid's face. You can't vacuum. We want to come shoot in your house. Go ahead.
It was whoever was his guest that week. They would have to prepare a meal for the family using only the items that were in their house. It was a pretty tough show. So, you know, Mom talked to this woman, her husband hadn't gotten home from work yet, 2 kids, one of them's in a diaper, one of them's got something on their face. And she was like, Mama kind of eased around him and said, oh, this reminds me of my 2 boys. Boys, y'all come up here. So Bobby and I were standing in the back going, nobody's ever going to let this guy out. Bobby and I come up there and Mom says, these are my boys. And Mom said, I'll make y'all dinner. And so the woman said, okay. So we went in and Mom made a spaghetti casserole and she made some kind of apple pies and she made a salad. And that was our first time we'd ever been a part of TV. It took a long time. But it was a great show. So in the car on the way...
We weren't really a part of it. We were.
No, we weren't, but we were. It's the first I'd ever seen. The first production I'd ever seen. And we're in the car going back to Las Vegas and Gordon Elliott, Bobby and I are sitting in the back seat. And Gordon's driving. I'm not going to try the accent again. Bobby made fun of it. But he says, Paula, you're going to be a star. You're going to be a star on television. He said, it's incredible. You know, you're going to have a show and I'm going to produce it. And Bobby and I were...
It was a little bit bigger moment than that, though, because I remember we were stopped at a red light, and it was one of those moments where Gordon turned and looked at my mama, and the look on his face was I knew that he meant what he was saying. And I was looking at him, and he was looking at my mama, and Jamie and I were looking at each other, and I didn't believe it.
No, but let me tell you, this is the same guy.
But to the end of that story is, he said, Paula, you're going to be a star. You're going to have your own show, and I'm going to produce it. And that is exactly what happened. Every bit of television that you've ever seen Mama do, or me do for that matter, or Jamie do, has all been produced by Gordon Elliott.
I had a little bit of money. This is the same guy that about 12 hours later at the crap table looked at me and said, can I borrow $100? And I ain't got a pot to TT in. And this is the guy running this whole production thing. It's promising everybody's going to be a star, and he wants $100 from me.
That's the man who's never been on an airplane.
Yeah. I gave it to him. And we've been working with Gordon now. I love it. The things he's done for our family is incredible.
Love it.
Did he pay you back?
What's that?
Did he pay you back? Did he
Oh,
pay you back?
he'll finish.
I'll tell you this, that's the last night that he ever smoked or drank. Is the night that he stood next to my mom at a casino. And she took care of all his problems. She gave him up way too late. And after that, he's like, I'm on the wagon for everything. Forever. He's tried to pay me back that money 100 times, and I would never take it, because to me the story's worth at least $101. So we do the thing, and then here's the funniest story, y'all. God, I wish I would have had a camera. We went to Le Cirque, which is a super fancy. I mean, that's where the chefs are. We're all of us, Mom included, are just cooks. So we go here to this place, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. So we walk up to the host stand. Gordon's wearing his uniform. Wherever he is right now, he's wearing this. Khakis, blue blazer, blue shirt. That's what he wears all the time.
Let me say that I had flown before. I had just never been to Le Cirque. I didn't know anything about it.
I'm wearing, I think I might have had a blazer on, but I know I had on a button-up shirt. My brother Bobby's wearing a yellow golf shirt. We walk up to the maitre d' at the Cirque, and the guy looks at us like we just pooted. He looks at all three of us. You have to have a tie on when you come to the Cirque. And I was ready to leave.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'd have been perfectly happy going to Crystal, but Gordon, who lives in New York, is, you know, he just stood there, and the guy produced 3 identical knit ties from behind the host stand. And I'm laughing, I just about wet my britches. It's the funniest thing in the world. And I look over at Bobby, and he's putting a tie on a golf shirt.
Laugh it up.
I have never seen him so mad in my life. And every time I would laugh, his jaw would get tighter and tighter. So we sat through like a 3-hour dinner in the Cirque. Bobby was wearing a yellow golf shirt with a black knit tie. And that is the funniest thing I think I've ever
I
seen.
can't believe I brought it up. That is funny beyond belief.